Welcome back to Heavy Duty, where the legends of the road come to life, and today, we're digging deep into one of the rarest and most historically significant vehicles of the early 20th century, the 1919 Audi. At a time when the world was still recovering from the shock of the First World War, Audi, already a respected name in German engineering, delivered a vehicle that blended early luxury with mechanical innovation. This car stood out not only for what it was but for what it represented: precision, craftsmanship, and the will to push forward during uncertain times. From the outside, the 1919 Audi commands respect with a design that speaks volumes about its era. Long and lean, with a stately presence on the road, it carried the hallmarks of luxury carriages transitioning into the age of true automobiles. The upright grille, large circular headlamps mounted high on the front, and a distinctively tall radiator made the front fascia immediately recognizable. This car wasn't designed with aerodynamics in mind. This was about elegance, presence, and stature. The long wheelbase and narrow tires gave it a stretched, deliberate stance. Wooden spoked wheels supported the heavy body, while broad fenders arched over the tires with grace. The car's bodywork featured simple but refined lines, usually finished in deep blacks, dark blues, or rich greens with contrasting pinstriping. There was no mistaking it, this wasn't a car for the common man. It was a statement vehicle, built to reflect status, wealth, and an appreciation for the finest in German engineering. Open the door, or more accurately, unlatch it with a solid metallic click, and you're greeted by a cabin that feels more like a finely crafted sitting room than a driver's seat. The interior of the 1919 Audi is a beautiful example of early 20th century luxury. Upholstery was typically rich leather or high-quality cloth, hand-stitched and fitted over deep, padded seats. The front and rear seats were separated by a significant stretch of floor space, often with fold-down footrests for rear passengers. This was motoring in comfort, designed more for being driven in than for driving. The dashboard was minimalist but elegant, featuring simple dials and switches surrounded by polished wood. The steering wheel was large and upright, more akin to a ship's wheel than what we're used to today, and the gear lever was tall and mechanical, requiring strength and rhythm to use effectively. Windows were framed with real wood trim, and interior hardware such as door handles and window cranks were made of solid brass or nickel-plated steel, giving everything a sense of permanence and quality. Now let's talk about the heart of this car, the engine. Under the hood of most 1919 Audi models was a large displacement inline-4 or inline-6 engine, depending on the variant. These power plants were big, slow revving, and built for torque rather than outright speed. With outputs typically in the range of 35 to 50 horsepower, these engines moved the car along at a comfortable cruising speed of around 40 to 50 miles per hour. Top speed could stretch a bit further, but roads at the time were hardly ready for such performance. Performance wasn't about numbers in this era, it was about reliability and refinement. The engines were mated to manual transmissions, often 4-speed units, with non-synchronized gearboxes requiring careful clutch work and skill. Driving one of these Audis wasn't easy by today's standards, but it was a rewarding experience that put you in full control of the machine. Suspension came courtesy of semi-elliptic leaf springs, and braking was mechanical, often just on the rear wheels. You had to anticipate your stops and steer with intention. As for the price, this was one of the more exclusive automobiles available in post-war Europe. In 1919, an Audi could cost you the equivalent of several years' wages for the average worker. We're talking about a vehicle priced similarly to a large house at the time. These cars were aimed at industrialists, politicians, and upper-class individuals who saw motoring not just as transportation, but as a social statement. Today, surviving examples of the 1919 Audi are exceedingly rare, and when they do come to auction or private sale, they can command prices well into six figures, depending on condition and originality. It's important to understand the significance of this vehicle. The 1919 Audi wasn't just a car, it was part of the early DNA of what would eventually become Audi's reputation for innovation, performance, and craftsmanship. Even in these early days, you could see the seeds of future quattro systems, of aluminum body structures, of high-performance sedans. It all began here, in a time of transition, where automotive dreams were still mechanical symphonies, played with gears and gasoline rather than microchips. This car is more than just history, it's heritage. A symbol of resilience and excellence from a company that would go on to shape the future of driving for over a century. It's easy to get lost in the futuristic concepts and modern tech, but sometimes it's just as important to look back and appreciate the vehicles that laid the foundation. Thanks for riding along with Heavy Duty. If you enjoyed this journey into the past, hit that like button, subscribe for more deep dives into legendary machines, and drop a comment on what vintage car you want to see next. Until then, keep it classic, and keep it heavy duty.